A recent study in the International Agency for Research on Cancer found eating fish regularly can decrease your risk of developing colorectal cancer. Dr. Thiru Lakshman, a colorectal surgeon at St. David's North Austin Medical Center, is here to tell us about the study. So what exactly did they find?
Yes, it was quite interesting, actually. Thanks for having me. This was a large European study, and they basically looked at a big population of patients, over 500,000 patients, and studied their dietary habits and how that may be related to incidence of colorectal cancer. They looked at some other prospective analysis as well, too. And basically what they found was that those that had a diet that had a higher amount of fish in the diet had a decreased incidence of colorectal cancer. More specifically, there is one factor, something called N3 long-chain polyunsaturated fatty acids. It's quite a mouthful. And they found that there were higher contents of those in fish, and that was more directly correlated to decreased incidence of colorectal cancer.
Wow, and is it certain types of fish?
Yeah, in the study they looked at all types, lean, fatty, and oily fish. Interestingly enough, they found increased levels of that fatty acid that I was talking about in the fatty and oily fish. There is still some benefits even to eating lean fish as well too, but in this particular study, the fatty and oily fish had increased levels of that fatty acid I talked about.
And what are some examples of the fatty, oily fish?
Oh gosh, there's all kinds of ones. Tuna, salmon is considered that as well too. Sort of the more meatier fishes, less flakier fishes, things like that. We'll tend to have it in there too.
Is there a thought process as to why this is? Why these fish tend to have more of, these good nutrients in them?
Why the fish have it, I'm not sure. But what we know is that these proteins, these fatty acids that they're talking about, particularly these unsaturated fatty acids, there's not a direct correlation. They're still trying to figure that out. But what the theory is that there's an anti-inflammatory aspect, and this affects certain cellular receptors that can sort of limit or hinder cancer development. And they've seen now specifically for colon rectal cancer. And
so when we think about other ways to reduce your chances of getting colorectal cancer, what are some other things that you can do?
Sure. A high fiber diet is very important. High fiber, low fat, avoiding red meats, sort of what we call carcinogenic foods. Things that we love, like bacon and smoked meats, things like that.
My face dropped when you said reduce the red meats.
That's right, that's right. But we know for sure that helps. Fruits and vegetables, things that have high fiber content. Being active, avoiding to have a sedentary lifestyle. Obviously avoiding alcohol, avoiding tobacco. All of those things we know for sure will decrease your risk of getting colon cancer.
Okay, fantastic.
And then I think really important is talking, knowing about your family history, a family history of colon polyps, colon cancer. You should definitely pay closer attention. And if you're having symptoms, definitely talk to your doctor about it.
Yeah, and definitely want to reach out to a doctor, even if you have a slight concern, right? Because it is a serious cancer.
That's absolutely right. It's the third most commonly diagnosed cancer in the United States. Every year, about 150,000 people get diagnosed with it. And the key about colon cancer, colon and rectal cancer, is that if you can catch it early, it's almost completely curable. So the key is to sort of look for warning signs, talk to your primary care physician sooner than later, see a colorectal surgeon or gastroenterologist and get checked out.
All right, Doctor, we thank you so much for joining us today. If you guys missed any of this interview, it's going to be uploaded onto KVUE.com right after the newscast. We'll be right back.